guys, Laura with We Met to Our Work and More, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these really beautiful candle wreaths. And before we get started, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications. And I would just really like to thank you all for popping by and seeing what I've gotten up to. So let's get going. The materials required for this project is a ruler. We have our round nose pliers. We have our snips. This is our candle holder, and what it is actually is it is a old furniture caster, but feel free to use any type of candle holder that appeals to you. We have an 18 gauge wire, we have our rebar wire, and here we have our red and our green. I believe it's an 18 gauge, might be a 16 gauge, but really any gauge works as long as it's not teeny tiny. And of course our ruler for measuring. The first thing we're going to do is create our base for our candle holder. So we're just unspooling the length of wire, and we're leaving it attached as there's no particular measurement. And I'm wiping it off. It's very filthy. And then we're just going to start to wind around the base of our candle holder. And this is a very, sorry about the noise, this is a very loose wind, loose wrap, just to give it more than anything a circular shape. All right, sweep that off, and then we have to take into account that we will be adding flowers as well as our vines around this, which is going to take up space from the inside. So it will affect how our candle holder fits inside of this wreath, if you will, candle wreath. So we want to leave a little bit of space. Right, bringing in our 18 gauge wire. This particular roll is super greasy. What we're going to do is just bring our wreath on there, and then we're going to just loosely, and I mean seriously loosely, wrap the wire around just enough so that it's going to hold its form, hold its shape, hold its size. These ends we can wrap a couple of times just to hold them in. Back to a super loose wrap. And the reason we do this is it still provides a little bit of movement in your wreath. But we also have to tuck our roses in between the wires as well to attach them. So we want to leave some little gaps. Bring that in and just binding it. There we go. And that is still going to fit nicely around our candle holder. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce our green wire. And just stretching out a length of it. We're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're just going to wrap it, some nice loose wraps all the way around. It's going to provide a little bit of color. And then we're also going to work with the ends of this to make some vines. Right, that's a nice length there. Snip this off. Just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, very nice. Taking another scrap of this. We're going to wrap it fairly tightly around this. We want it to stay put. And then all we're going to do is we're going to start to curl these. And these are going to make our lovely little vines. Right, we may choose to add a few more of these a little bit further down the line, but for now that is exactly what we're going for. So still fitting nicely around our candle holder. Now I'm going to show you how to make these roses. I do have a video, standalone video that goes into this quite in depth, and I will leave the link in the description below. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a loose circle. I'm going to introduce my mandrel here. And I'm just going to wrap that around. Still want to keep these ends somewhat even. Grasping it where it has folded or crossed over. And then we're going to fold these wires so that the wires are sticking out straight from one another. Taking one of the wires, doesn't matter if it's left or right, and we are going to start to just wrap around. Now when we do this, we're always going around underneath the wire that is left sticking up. So that was one round, and now bringing this wire underneath the one that we just were working with. Right, bringing it around. Sorry, same thing. We're going to take this one that was sticking up, we're going to bring it around underneath the one that we were just working with. These are super easy and they're just so pretty. Okay, this one underneath the one we were just working with, and just bring it around. Once again, taking the one that was sticking up, bringing it underneath the one that we just finished working with. Taking the second one, bringing it underneath the one that was sticking up. Taking this one, putting it underneath this wire. And there we go. We have finished off. So then we just take our round nose pliers. We just tuck that in, and I'm always warning about scarring with this aluminum wire, and it will do so on this project. However, it's all tucked underneath, so it really isn't that imperative that you're super careful with it in this particular project. All right, so there we go. Easy peasy. Snipping that, giving it a couple of tails, and these are the tails that we will be poking into the gaps on our wreath. So now I have 5 of those. I made some in advance of this video. And then we're going to just decide where we would like those roses to be. A couple here, maybe one there, one on either side, or we could easily just spread them out a little bit more. That we end up with all of our roses spread out somewhat. And I think I will go that route. Yeah, I think so. All right, so we have a game plan. We're just going to move ahead, and we are going to attach these by poking the wire to the rose somewhere through a gap along our wreath. And then we're just going to make sure that that's nicely attached. So flipping it over, we want to just grab these wires, and you can wrap them around the wreath or through the loops. I don't mind having a little bit of the red showing, other than in the rose itself, but it is entirely up to you. Okay, there's one. Once again, we're just taking and we are putting one of these tails somewhere through the wires here. And sometimes, depending on where you have it, you may want to create a gap as well. Flipping it over, we'll just make sure that it is firmly attached. Same thing with the other side. Steps 2, we'll continue to attach these. There we go. Super cute, hey? So then we just pop it on there, and we can adjust where everything is so that it fits our candle holder. But you can see how there's not a ton of space left around it, and that's just because of the way that we attached all of our flowers. So once again, this is Laura with We Met Wirework and More, and I thank you for popping by and seeing what I've gotten up to. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notification when we come up with these super cute projects, and certainly leave me your comments. I love to hear from you guys. So for now, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon.